So just 2 weeks after TLC, we get WWE Roadblock End of the Line, and I'm like surprised, like this is the name of the pay per view because we already had a Roadblock this year, and now we're getting another one with just a subtitle to it. It surprised me a bit that that was going to be the name of the pay per view. Like they couldn't bring back an old pay per view, but no, this might be a first for WWE that wasn't an in your house pay per view that got a well same name of the same year. But that's a very minor nitpick there. So let's just get right into it. Big Cass versus Rusev on the kickoff. Okay, I've already ranted about during my TLC build video that this whole storyline makes next to no sense in terms of who's the heel and who's the villain. And yeah, I'm siding with Rusev here, because think about it. Enzo came up to Lana naked and flirted with her, and you could make the argument that was sexual harassment. And Rusev was just going out there defending his wife's honor. How am I supposed to boo that guy? All he was doing was defending his wife's honor, yet WWE's trying to paint this as a bad thing. So when they did a fake plan of them looking like they're breaking up, oh boy, I wonder where this is gonna go. Yeah, that was clearly the direction. Like, at least it wasn't a horrible love storyline. But, but, then, all of a sudden they're trying to make Enzo look like the justified guy here, trying to not be put on the advantage Lana was giving him, okay, so let's see if I get this straight. It's alright if a guy was to do this, but if a woman was to do it, oh, that's simply going too far. I'm not liking the lessons, WWE. I don't like the moral of the story here. Like, if WWE was trying to put a lesson here, it's basically, foreigners are evil, it's okay to be sexually harassing women, so long as you're a good guy, and, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, the storyline doesn't make me get invested with Enzo and Big Cass. Instead, it makes me get invested in Rusev because this is the second time in a year, in this past year alone, that Rusev has been more of a face than the actual heel. Because let's see, Roman Reigns humiliates Lana, he's going to defend his wife's honor. Enzo and Big Cass sexually harass Lana, he's going to defend his wife's honor. So, what am I supposed to boo here for? No, there's no point in booing Rusev. I'm all for Rusev winning this match. It makes sense to me. But since WWE likes to be xenophobic and have a hatred towards foreigner people, they're going to give Big Cass the win because Vince McMahon is more impressed with Big Cass because he's a big guy. Even though Rusev's also a big guy, it's just that, well, he likes Big Cass more. Okay, so now that I've got that out of the way, since that was a complete disaster, let's get to Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman. Now, everyone has said that this is the red hot storyline that was working, and I can kind of agree with them, but it seemed more like everybody was liking it for the different reason than WWE had intended. Like, I knew for a fact Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn was going to happen because they built this up, they wouldn't let it go to waste at times. Like, then they stopped for Survivor Series, and then they went back to it after Survivor Series. And part of me was hoping, like a lot of fans were hoping, that this leads to a frustrated Sami Zayn leaving Raw and heading to SmackDown because, let's be real, SmackDown would be a better home for him. But no, like, the moment that they go ahead and reference Eva Marie as the trade-in, like, that was, yeah, I was like, oh god, he's staying on Raw. And Mick Foley said that this was all part of an elaborate plan to get to for Zayn to show Foley that he could beat Strowman. And I'm like, that plan has no logic whatsoever. That's the epitome of WWE Raw's problem. If Daniel Bryan was in charge, he would have given the match to Sami Zayn right now. But the fact that Sami Zayn turned down a championship opportunity since Mick Foley was offering that to him, yeah, when that said that he wanted to fight Strowman so badly that he's willing to throw away a chance to become Universal Champion and instead do this, yeah, just give him the match. So, like, I like the Sami Zayn they're giving us, but at the same time, it might be for the wrong reasons. Like, I wanted Sami Zayn to move to SmackDown and not stay on Raw because SmackDown needs more faces because they're kind of out of faces besides Dean Ambrose and John Cena. Like, they have several others, but they're all mid-card guys, not main event talent. And Cesaro and Sami Zayn definitely need to go to SmackDown because it really needs that depth to the field. I mean, like, if you're hearing word that the next match for AJ Styles is going to be against a former veteran of the business and is only there to hold the belt for John Cena till WrestleMania, then you know that you failed miserably. So, Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman has been added with a 10-minute time limit, which I'm pretty sure is their way of saying, like, okay, we're going to give Sami Zayn the win here, but at the same time, we want to make Braun Strowman look as strong as possible for his upcoming match with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, since that's reportedly the plan. So, yeah, like, this seems like a fair compromise. So, will Sami Zayn be able to last 10 minutes for Braun Strowman? Most likely. Like, people were saying, like, Sami Zayn can make Braun Strowman look like $1 million. Sami Zayn hasn't been, I don't really know about that yet. But, like, the only guy that could make Braun Strowman look like $1 million is Daniel Bryan, because at this point, because prior to his retirement, Daniel Bryan was at this level where you can make any guy look good in the ring, even Kane. So him fighting Braun Strowman would have been an interesting matchup, but Daniel Bryan is injured and cannot wrestle or else he'll die. I don't get why people complain about that still, since, well, they wanted Brock Lesnar to German suplex him. So, yeah, apologize. I'm just, like, I think I'm coming down with something soon. So, yeah, Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman. It's this red hot storyline that really people thought would have a different outcome. So now let's get to Rich Swann versus TJ Perkins versus Brian Kendrick, or the Brian Kendrick, for the Cruiserweight Championship in a triple threat match. Yeah, this is mainly a 205 Live build up. Like, they had interactions on Raw, but mostly this has been hinted at 205 Live. And that's pretty much it. Like, they didn't give any development of characters. Like after Rich Swann versus Brian Kendrick 2 at 205 Live, which was an awesome match, I must add. They had one confrontation, and that suddenly created a triple threat match. So this is obviously the worst build-up they gave. So yeah, yeah, like Rich Swann is this rising cruiserweight star. Brian Kendrick is awesome heel, and T.J. Perkins, he's a video game guy. Like, okay, and he's this happy-go-lucky guy. You know, the worst thing people don't like. And, well, yeah. So, like, okay, and, like, people say that he would work better as a heel. I'm not sure about that. Like, I haven't seen him work as a heel. Like, I didn't watch him in the independent scene or in TNA since they said he was there for a while. So, I don't really know if he can work as a heel, or they could just give him a better character as a face. So, yeah. And then, like, Rich Swann versus TJ Perkins happened on 205 Live, a taped 205 Live, since they were working with Tribute to the Troops on Monday night. So, Rich Swann lost to TJ Perkins, ending his losing streak he was on. So, while I would say this match could have potentially stolen the show, considering how the Cruiserweights are treated on Raw, and especially on pay-per-view, don't be surprised if they don't really end up being the best match of the night. And besides, they still got to compete with several other matches. Specifically, 3 of them. So, now let's get to one of those 3 main event quality pay-per-view matches. Sasha Banks versus Charlotte, round 265. A 30-minute Iron Woman match for the Raw Women's Championship. Did I mention this is the 100th time they wrestled? It feels like it. You see, when they were obviously building out to Charlotte versus Bayley, they changed the plans. Instead, had Sasha go after Charlotte, and in a Falls Count Anywhere match, and that led to Sasha Banks getting the win and winning the title for the 3rd time in a short span it was in. They're really not making me like this storyline now. Like, a lot of people have been expressing that they've been losing interest in the storyline because they keep milking as many matches as they can in such short timing. And I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm probably going to regret this later down the road. But Randy Orton versus John Cena has more appeal to it right now. At least they gave a huge gap of time between the two, so they didn't have to go after each other numerous times. The only problem here is that they didn't have any storyline developments that wasn't repetitive. I'm gonna beat up John Cena's father, and John Cena was still not egocentric at this point until he was, but like. Yeah, they've milked Sasha Banks and Charlotte so much in such short timing that it's become the women's equivalent of John Cena versus Randy Orton. Oh god, that's sad. Especially, and I want to like these two I want to like the storyline, but they've been milking it so much in such short timing. It's like all they have going for them is that they're making history, and like I'm glad for them that they're making history, but. Like, what about the other women? Like they were building up Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks, and also Bayley versus Charlotte, and Dana Brooke versus Charlotte. Like, those plans got scrapped for some reason. And now only Sasha Banks versus Charlotte is the only women's match on the card. Yeah. Like, I don't get it. So, that's a huge waste of like, they could have waited this out, like. And especially it being an Iron Woman match, like, I was expecting that to, like, oh, wait, that, like, wow. And they're saying this is the first time ever for women, even though there's been one in NXT TakeOver Respect. You know, that match between Bayley and Sasha Banks that everyone says still was match of the year quality. Yeah. Let's discriminate NXT further by making these two women who have made history before and completely ignore this. Like, I'm pretty sure they're saying it for the Raw's women's title, but the way they worded it sounds more like it's never been done before for women. So, yeah. So, anyways, and they've also added a no rematch clause. So, like, hallelujah, they're finally ending this rivalry. Thank God. Because everyone was making jokes now because it looked like, oh, Charlotte's going to win that pay-per-view, Sasha Banks going to win on Raw, and Charlotte's going to regain the women's title at Roadblock. Probably, most likely, in order to keep that undefeated streak they have going for her. So, I'm curious as to know how this storyline is going to end for now, and then they're going to move on to other storylines. And in fact, I'm wondering what happened to Dana Brooke. Like, not that I give a care or anything, like, there's just no incentive to care about her as a character, but I was wondering what happened to her. Especially, is Ric Flair going to be involved in this angle since, well, Charlotte slapped him in the face, and because she felt betrayed by Ric Flair for siding with Sasha Banks. So, that's the curious thing they're going to do, probably. This match is most likely going to steal the show. I guarantee that. Because they've stolen the show numerous times over the past few months. Yeah, they can steal the show again. Now let's get to Seth Rollins versus Chris Jericho. The match that nobody asked for. Well, it's the second match that nobody asked for. Mostly because WWE's treating this like it's a big matchup for Seth Rollins and Chris Jericho. Even though they've fought numerous times. Like, seriously? And especially Seth Rollins seems more focused on Triple H. Oh, by the way, they finally addressed Triple H after last week. At the time of this video. So they finally brought that up after a month old few storylines. So yeah. Seth Rollins is calling out Triple H instead against Chris Jericho. And he keeps saying that he's trying to get rid of Chris Jericho so he doesn't interfere with Kevin Owens' match, but Roman Reigns has kind of done the job for him, so this match is much more pointless. It's just, oh, we don't have Seth Rollins on the card. Put Seth Rollins on there. Put Seth Rollins on there. Like, I get motivation-wise, but, like, there's no point anymore since Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens aren't buddy-buddy anymore. Like, they could switch that around as part of an elaborate ruse, but, like, from what it looks like, Seth Rollins' entire motivation to go after Chris Jericho has been negated by Roman Reigns. Because everything begins and ends with Roman Reigns on Raw. Just like how soon, in a few months, it will be everything begins and ends with John Cena on SmackDown. So, yeah, like, I don't see how... I think this is going to be the third best match of the night. Like, they still have to compete with Sasha Banks and Charlotte, Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. But it's almost likely going to be the third best match of the night. Like, they could give a great performance. Like, these two could... Like, Chris Jericho could still go. Seth Rollins is agile and very great in the ring. So, we'll see what happens. Especially how Seth Rollins attacked Chris Jericho in a parking lot. Oh, yeah. And they seem to be lessening the value of the list. Oh, boy, I can't imagine why. Something that got over with fans organically is suddenly not being used much. Huh. It almost sounds like Vince McMahon has purposely killed it, for the most part. It's just a prop now, not just something that makes fans go crazy. Also, Chris Jericho saying that he'll put Seth Rollins on the disabled list. Yeah, some people might find a bit of irony to that, since Seth Rollins is usually the one putting guys on the disabled list. Like, say, John Cena with a busted nose, Sting with a busted neck, Finn Balor with a dislocated shoulder and torn labrum. Yeah, those were good times. And by good times, I mean absolute bullshit. And now people believe Seth Rollins is dangerous in the ring. Specifically Bret Hart. I don't know if he's still on to that. Like, I heard he had apologized for his comments, but, like, I don't know if he still thinks that. But it looks like Seth Rollins and Chris Jericho are going to go at it, even though there's now no motivation to after what happened on the final Raw till Roadblock, end of the line. So let's get to the main event of them all. Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Okay, did they just forget that there was a United States Championship already on Roman Reigns? So they just said, hey, let's forget about the US title. Let's just go ahead and put him in the main event again. And they didn't even drop it. Instead, let's give the belt to Reigns mentality kind of looks like it's going for. But really, from what I've gathered with reports, that's not actually the case. After Kevin Owens lost to Roman Reigns for a non-title opportunity, for a title match opportunity, but he got the match at Roadblock, and once again they're teasing a Shield reunion, blah 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 blah, and all that. But ultimately, Roman Reigns kind of destroyed the Kevin Owens Chris Jericho friendship, so really that negated Seth Rollins versus Chris Jericho every way. But also, Roman Reigns becoming a little champion, that only could work if he was a heel. That could only work if he was a heel. They could, because fans would boo him if he did win the title, and he already has the U.S. title. It could only work if Roman Reigns was a villain. That's the only way I would approve of this. But him as a face, that's just a disaster waiting to happen. But from what I've gathered with reports, how Roman Reigns is going to fight Braun Strowman for the U.S. title at WrestleMania next year, so he's going to be in mid card again after this, and how it's also said that he's not expected to win the Universal title. And Kevin Owens seems to be poised to fight Finn Balor at WrestleMania if they really go forward with that. So this match is just like okay, we just gotta get Kevin Owens through this and then get to WrestleMania afterwards. And I heard people say like complain about Kevin Owens not being booked as Kevin Owens, and yet some people are saying, oh well, he's a heel, he's supposed to look like a coward and a weakling. And I'm thinking, did you watch freaking NXT Kevin Owens? Or early Kevin Owens when he was on the main roster fighting John Cena and Cesaro? Did everyone just forget about that? Because that is Kevin Owens. They wanted to fight Owens fight, not run Owens run. Or help Owens help. They wanted to fight Owens fight, not this weak version, dietary version of Kevin Owens that doesn't really do much like he used to. Like, he still does his antics, and that's entertaining, but I want to see him be a badass. But no, we're not given that. We're given something else. Like, it's almost like if him winning the world title was a bad idea. Like, I'm glad Kevin Owens won the Universal title, but at the same time, I knew that this would book him as a coward champ because Vince doesn't know how to book a champion like that. And look at AJ Styles. Like, yeah, he's lost matches at James Ellsworth, but at least he's been looked dangerous still. And at least he wins matches on his own. He rarely ever gets help. So, why can't they do the same thing for Kevin Owens? Oh, well, this is Raw. Everything has to be illogical. Oh, and we gotta make Roman Reigns look as strong as possible. So, yeah, I know these guys could do a good match, but with the storyline that they have, especially how they reduce Kevin Owens' fangs, yeah. And then I realized, wait, Brock Lesnar's in the Royal Rumble, so who's Kevin Owens going to fight at Royal Rumble? Is it Chris Jericho? Like, the original plan was going to be whoever was Universal Champion to fight Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble and drop the belt for Brock Lesnar for WrestleMania season. Thank God they didn't do that because that's what happened last time. So, yeah. I don't know about this storyline. Like, it's just... Especially Roman Reigns standing tall at the end of Raw. Like, not surprised by that. So, but surprisingly it was in Philadelphia since what happened last time Roman Reigns stood tall at the end when everyone was hating on him. Yeah, but they didn't give a reaction, and WWE probably will get concerned about that since now he's no longer getting a reaction from any crowd. At least for now. So, yeah, Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, they probably will be the second best match of the night. Sasha Banks vs. Charlotte will be the best match of the night. And that's relatively it for WWE's Roadblock end of the line build up. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more.